Josh, who will get blame for the shutdown?
Well, I think it's pretty likely Republicans will get blamed since they're the ones that are really forcing the issue. What's happening right now is the kind of epic shakeout effects of a civil war that's been going on within the Republican Party for a while, but it's especially intense since the 2012 election. And what you basically have is half of the party that took the lesson from that election, said we need to moderate, we need to broaden our appeal, we need to bring in immigrants, Hispanics, young people, minorities, and another set that said, no, we need to double down on conservatism, we need to purify ourselves. And right now, that's the component of the party that's winning.
Well, Josh, what I loved about your piece is that it's not about the House Speaker, John Boehner. It's about somebody else, Jim DeMint, who's actually calling the shots, and he's not even in the Senate anymore. What kind of influence does he have?
Well, DeMint left the Senate in January to go become the president of the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank that's probably the leader among a group of conservative organizations that have really been pushing this defund Obamacare effort. During August, when Congress was on recess, DeMint and Ted Cruz and a couple other people toured around the country whipping up grassroots conservatives to put pressure on GOP legislators to defund the law. And it's their unwillingness to back off that demand that's really going to force the government probably to shut down tonight.
Well, so it's all his idea, Tom.
Yeah, let's tour around the Budget Committee. Stan Collender with us with decades of experience looking at the minutia of Congress. Is the Budget Committee, is the Republican powerful committees of the House, are they Tea Party, Jim DeMint committees, or are they Boehner committees?
Okay, first of all, let's stop. The committees in the House are not powerful. Period. End of story.
Okay,
all right.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, they used to be when you and I grew up, but they're not now. This is a caucus situation, something way above the committees. Committees have done nothing all year. Right now, John Boehner is not in control of his own caucus. He's been slapped down so many times, so hard over the last 5 months on so many different issues that it's hard to see that he can negotiate.
Matt Dowd, let me ask you the question that needs to be asking. Is he the Speaker of the House on Tuesday?
He's the Speaker of the House on Tuesday, but again, he's demonstrating that he has an inability to lead his own caucus in the midst of this. And it's, again, I'm going to emphasize, this is not just about 20, 30, 40, 50 irate Republicans who don't want to get along. This is about a constituency outside of the United States that they represent around the country. And Jim DeMint, while powerful, is powerful because there's a large segment of the Republican Party that no longer wants to accept the federal government's involvement in hardly anything going on, and that's the problem.
Well, Josh, to your article and this whole strategy, you say created by DeMint, House Speaker John Boehner's on board, using Obamacare as the ultimate tool here. Is this strategy going to work? Do they really have the faith of the American people and the hatred of the American people for the president's health care legislation that they can be successful? What do they say about that?
Well, if you look at polls, Obamacare itself is fairly unsuccessful. Most Americans disapprove of it. So DeMint and Heritage and these conservatives have that going for them. The problem is the American people, if you look at polls, don't want to shut down the government over Obamacare. So I think that Republicans forcing this issue are almost certain to lose. In the bigger picture, though, in terms of this GOP civil war, DeMint's whole strategy is to kind of double down and to keep forcing these big clashes in the belief that this will force the Republican Party generally to get on board, to move to the right, which he thinks is going to bring about the kind of Republican renaissance that these guys all dream about. So the question, really, if you're a Republican, is Jim DeMint and his group, are they leading us on the path of Ronald Reagan, or are they leading us on the path of Barry Goldwater?
Well, Ronald Reagan couldn't win a Republican primary today.
Neither could Barry Goldwater.
Yeah.
Because he's too moderate.
Yeah, he's too moderate in today's environment.
You know, I have a chart
and I think that's the answer right there.
I have a chart that shows congressional approval from 1995 to 1996, the last time there was a shutdown, and it includes the key points of the budget shutdown. And you can see that it declined certainly during the shutdown, but then recovered very quickly. My question is, where's the rest of the Republican leadership, the Paul Ryans, the Eric Cantors, just keeping their head down until this whole thing blows over?
Well, Ryan's been AWOL. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He clearly doesn't want to be involved and get here. And interestingly enough, if Boehner were to leave the speakership or be deposed...
Is Ryan running for Speaker?
Well, he might. He has a choice between President, Chairman of the Ways and Means, and Speaker. That's one of those three is what he'd want. But the rest of the Republican leadership, Mitch McConnell, who's done budget negotiations in the past, has got a Tea Party challenger this time. And so he doesn't have the ability to negotiate.